Good morning, everyone, and welcome to today's webinar, Predictive Analytics in Law Firm from Data to Decisions. Thank you for joining us for this session. I am Karina, and joining me today are Mohammed and Shruti. Together, we will walk you through how predictive analytics is changing the way law firms plan, manage risk, and make decisions. We are also honored to have our CEO, Mr. Brijesh Sharan, with us today. Mr. Brijesh is a legal tech entrepreneur based in Dubai with over 25 years of expertise in emerging technologies. He is a recognized authority in legal technology consulting with extensive knowledge of technology trends and their practical application within the legal sector. We have planned this session to last approximately 20 to 25 minutes. We appreciate your support and cooperation throughout the webinar. To ensure a smooth and uninterrupted experience for all participants, we kindly request that you remain muted during the session. Now let's begin. Here is a quick look at what we'll cover today. First, we will understand why legal decision making is moving from historical reporting towards predictive intelligence. Second, we will look at predictive analytics and the data behind it. Next, we'll explore how AI and machine learning turn data into useful insights. Then, we will cover practical use cases such as workload forecasting, matter trends, financial risk, client intelligence, and firm performance. After that, we'll look at how predictive analytics works inside the law firm, along with key considerations around data quality, privacy, governance, and responsible AI. Finally, we'll see how Smart Lawyer Office can support the journey from data to decisions. So let's begin with the fundamental question. Let's start with a simple question. Your firm has a lot of data, but are you actually using that data to make decisions? Law firm generates data constantly, inquiries, matters, hearings, and time entries, invoices, client interactions, and documents. But this information is often spread across systems, spreadsheets, emails, and applications. For example, imagine a managing partner wants to know which matters may experience delays next month. The information may exist, but getting the answer could require checking several sources manually. And by then, the situation may have changed. This is the important distinction. Traditional reporting tells us what happened, while predictive analytics helps us to understand what may happen next. That shift from looking backward to looking forward is what we will explore today. Now, let's define predictive analytics simply. Predictive analytics uses historical information, technology, and pattern recognition to identify what is likely to happen in the future. It doesn't predict the future with absolute certainty. Instead, it identifies patterns and probabilities based on previous data. For example, imagine a firm has managed hundreds of similar litigation matters. It may have data on duration, workload, billing, resources, and outcomes. Predictive analytics can analyze these patterns and help to estimate how a similar new matter might behave. So instead of asking what happened before, firms can ask, based on what we know, what is likely to happen next. That is where historical data becomes forward looking intelligence. Now, we can see the difference between traditional and predictive approaches. Traditionally, firms react when an issue becomes visible, a deadline gets close, a team becomes overloaded, or a billing issue appears. Predictive analytics helps to identify these signals earlier. For example, imagine a team is receiving more matters every month while its available capacity is decreasing. A predictive system could highlight that the team may reach capacity in the coming weeks. Management then has time to redistribute work, add resources, or adjust priorities. So this isn't simply about another report. It's about having more time to act before a problem becomes urgent. So where does predictive intelligence come from? The answer is simple. The data the firm is already generating. First, we have matter and case information, status, milestones, filings, hearings, and progress. Second, client and engagement information. Third, financial and billing data, that is time entries, invoices, payments, and collections. Then we have documents, communications, workflows, productivity information, and case outcomes. Individually, these may seem like small data points, but when connected, they create a much clearer picture. For example, connecting matter, billing, and resource data can show not only how many matters the firm has, but how they affect workload and financial performance. So, this is the key point. The foundation for predictive analytics may already exist inside the firm. The challenge is connecting and using it effectively. Now, this is where AI and machine learning become important. Traditional report shows us numbers and numbers or trends. AI can go further by analyzing large volumes of information and identifying patterns that may not be immediately visible. First, AI can recognize patterns. Next, it can classify information. Uh, then it can identify trends, support risk scoring, anomaly detection, and forecasting. With natural language processing, documents and communications can also be analyzed more efficiently. For example, imagine thousands of matter nodes and communications. Instead of reviewing everything manually, AI can help to identify information that deserves closer attention. The important point is that AI is not supporting legal professionals, um, not replacing legal judgment. Now, let's move into our first practical use case, that is matter and case trends. First is matter volume. Predictive analytics can estimate whether incoming matters may increase or decrease. Second is practice area demand. For example, whether growing activity in a practice area appears to be a longer term trend. Third, we have case duration and outcomes. And this historical information can help to estimate timelines, resources, and potential outcomes for similar matters. For example, a firm seeing a consistent increase in commercial disputes, instead of only looking at the past numbers, leadership can ask, is this trend likely to continue? And should we prepare additional capacity? That makes the data much more useful for strategic planning. Next is workload and resources planning. This is important because workload directly affects operational efficiency and client service. First, predictive analytics can forecast team capacity. Second, it can identify workload changes across practice area. Then third, it can identify potential bottlenecks and support better allocation. For example, imagine team A is approaching full capacity while team B is still has available resources. Without clear visibility, management may only notice when deadlines start uh, being missed. With predictive insight, The imbalance can be identified earlier and work redistributed. So the objective isn't simply to make people work faster. It is about making better decisions about where resources are needed and when. Now let's look at another important area, that is risk. First, delayed matters and deadlines. Patterns may indicate that a matter is heading towards delay. Second, billing anomalies. Unusual billing patterns or gaps can indicate something that needs attention. Third, we have early warning signals. This could relate to workflow bottlenecks, payment risk, or operational patterns. For example, a matter normally generates a certain level of billable activity, but suddenly that pattern changes. It doesn't automatically mean something is wrong, but it gives someone an early signal to investigate. And this is an important principle. Predictive analytics doesn't necessarily make the decision for you, it helps you to know where to look. Now, let's move from internal operations to client side. Predictive analytics can provide intelligence around client engagement, revenue trends, and growth opportunities. First, firms can analyze client engagement patterns. Then they can understand revenue contribution and demand across services. Third, predictive insights can highlight potential retention or business development opportunities. For example, imagine a long-standing client gradually reducing the number of matters they send. That may not be obvious in a single monthly report, but analyzing the pattern over time can create an early signal. The relationship partner can then proactively reach out and understand what has changed. So, predictive analytics helps firms to move from reacting to client changes to recognizing them earlier. Now, let's look at the bigger picture, overall law firm performance. First is profitability and productivity. Second, revenue and realization, including collections and revenue trends. Third, executive performance, connecting indicators such as turnaround time, client growth, and practice area performance. The real advantage comes when these are not viewed as separate numbers. For example, instead of simply seeing that revenue has decreased, leadership can investigate whether it relates to matter volume, realization, collections, workload, or any or another factor. That provides a stronger basis for decision making. Now that we have covered the broader impact on law firms, I would like to hand it over to Mohammed Anas, who will take us through how predictive analytics works in a law firm. Thank you. Over to you, Anas.
Thank you, Karina. Hi everyone, I'm Anas. I'll be walking you through the how predictive analytics works in a law firm. Now let's look at what happens behind the scenes. Predictive analytics can be understood through five connected steps. The first one is collect. We gather legal, operational, financial, and client information. And second is connect. Information from different systems is brought together. Third is analyze. AI and machine learning examine the connected information and identify patterns. Fourth is predict. Those patterns who identify potential trends, risk, or outcomes. And finally, act. The insight becomes useful when someone uses it to make a decision. For example, if a system predicts a workload increase in next month, the firm can act today by reallocating matters or adjusting capacity. So, I think it has of a simple pipeline. Data comes in, intelligence is gathered, and action comes out. This slide shows the transformation predictive intelligence can enable. On one side, we have fragmented information, manual reporting, and slower analysis. On the other hand, we have connected data, greater visibility, automated insight, and proactive decisions. Imagine two firms managing a similar number of matters. The first one spends significant time collecting information before management understands what's happening. The second has a connected information available much faster. The difference isn't simply technology; it is speed and decision quality. When leadership receives useful information earlier, they have more time to respond and improve workload management, client service, financial growth, and performance. Now it is important to look at the other side. Predictive analytics is powerful, but it needs the right foundation. First is data fragmentation. Information spread across systems can limit the analysis. Second is data quality. Incomplete or inconsistent information can affect reliability. Third is governance, privacy, and confidentiality, especially important because legal firms handle sensitive client information. Fourth is user adoption. Even a sophisticated system needs a consistent usage. And finally, firms need the right expertise to manage analytics responsibly. So, this is the key message. Technology alone isn't enough. Good predictive analytics requires good data, good process, and good governance. That brings us to the responsible AI. When AI is used in legal environments, human oversight must remain central. First, human oversight. Legal professionals remain accountable for the decisions. Second is data privacy. Confidential information must be protected. Third is transparency. Users should understand where an AI recommendation comes from. Fourth is bias monitoring to identify unintended or unfair patterns. And fifth is AI use must be remain aligned with applicable ethically, legally, and professional obligations. For example, imagine an AI system identifies a matter as a high risk. A lawyer should not simply accept that result. The system should support the analysis while the legal professional reviews the factors and makes the final decision. And that's the balance. AI provides intelligence and the legal professional provides the judgment. Now let's take one step back. Before predictive analytics can deliver meaningful results, firms need a strong technology foundation. Think about it like a building a house. You have excellent furniture, excellent design, but if the foundation is weak, the structure becomes difficult to maintain. And the same applies here. If the matters are in one system and documents are somewhere else, building in spreadsheets and client information in another application, predictive analytics is a fragmented foundation. And a connected technology environment brings these areas together and create consistency. So predictive intelligence does not begin with the prediction; it begins with the quality and structure of the underlying data. So what does this foundation look like in practice? We can look at it through four connected areas. First is lead and inquiry management, where the potential client relationship begins. Second is client and matter management, connecting client with the legal work. Third is document and workflows, bringing consistency to the task, documents, hearing, and dealing processes. Fourth is billing, reportings, and analytics, connecting operational activity with financial information. For example, a client inquiry can become a matter, and matter generates activity and documents. Those activities generate billing information and all of it contributes to reporting. When these stages are connected, the firm creates a continuous data trail, and that data trail becomes a foundation for better intelligence. Now that we are looking for at the broader ecosystem, a modern legal platform can connect client data, matters, documents, workflows, billing, hearings, tasks, reports, and analytics. Think of each area as one part of the same system rather than separate islands. For example, a matter changes status, it contributes to the operational pictures, and when the billing changes, it can influence the financial reporting. And when the hearing or deadline changes, it affects the matter management and task coordination. So the leadership can see how different areas connect, and that is what we mean by data to decision ecosystem. Information moves through the firm and ultimately supports better decisions. Now let's connect this directly to Beveron Smart Layer Office. Smart Layer Office is a comprehensive legal practice management platform designed to bring key law firm operations into one connected ecosystem. And it helps firms manage clients, matters, documents, workflows, reporting, and day to day activities more efficiently Now, let's look at how these capabilities support smarter, data driven legal operations. First is centralized data, providing a unified view of clients, matters, documents, and activities. And second is workflow automation, reducing repetitive administrative work and helping teams work more efficiently. Third is AI powered intelligence, supporting faster analysis and enabling smarter and more informed workflows. Fifth is real time visibility, helping leadership monitor activities, identify priorities, and respond quickly. For example, instead of waiting until the end of the month for a report, a leadership can have the better visibility into what is happening across the practice in real time. And this is where predictive analytics becomes practical. It moves beyond being just a concept and becomes a part of everyday legal operations, helping firms make faster and informed decisions. Now let's step back and look at the journey as a whole. A data driven law firm does not become predictive overnight. First is manual, information is disconnected and decisions are mainly reactive. Second is digital core information moves into digital systems. Third is automated, workflows reduce administrative work effort. Fourth is intelligence connected information produces meaningful insights. And finally, predictive, the firm can anticipate risk, optimize resources, and support strategic decisions. The important point is that the firms do not need to transform all at once. The journey can happen step by step, starting with the right foundation. Now let's bring everything together with five key takeaways. First, the data is a strategic asset. Every matter, interaction, transaction, and activity contributes to the firm's intelligence. Second, predictive analytics create foresight. It helps identify patterns and risk earlier. Third, AI should augment legal expertise. Technology supports analysis while human judgment remains essential. Fourth, connected systems matter. Fragmented information makes reliable intelligence much harder. Fifth, future is proactive. The advantage comes from identifying challenges earlier rather than simply reacting. If there is one idea we would like to remember, it is the value of data isn't simply in having it. The real opportunity is turning the data into better decisions. As we wrap up today's session, let's come to the central message. The future of legal decision making is increasingly data driven. Law firms already generate enormous amounts of information. The opportunity to connect is the information is to apply intelligence to it and use those insights to make better decisions. This is where Smartlayer Office by Beveron Technologies fits into the journey. It brings together connected legal operations, automations, analytics, and AI powered capabilities, support a more intelligence and data driven legal practice. And the journey is simple from data to intelligence, from intelligence to decisions, from decisions to better outcomes. The important thing is that this journey can begin with the data a firm already has. Thank you everyone for participating in today's webinar on predictive analytics in law firms from data to decisions. We would like to appreciate your feedback. Please take a moment to complete the feedback form shared in the chat. It genuinely helps us to improve our future sessions and deliver content that is more relevant to you. If you would like to have a live demonstration of SmartLayer Office or any additional resources, please visit Beveron's website. Thank you again for your valuable time today.
Thank you once again for joining us today for this session on predictive analytics in law firms from data to decisions. We hope this session gave you practical insights into how predictive analytics, AI, and connected data can help law firms to move from reactive operations to proactive, confident decision making, and ultimately better outcomes for both the firms and its clients. As client expectations continue to evolve and legal technology keeps advancing, adopting a data driven approach will only become more important for staying competitive and delivering real value. We encourage you to take these ideas back to your own firm and explore how they might apply. Thank you again for your time, participation, and engagement throughout today's session.